Good morning, racing fans, and welcome to another action-packed show of Let's Go Racing. I'm Dani Gibson here with Dick Jerardi, and today we've got all the thrilling moments right here from Pennsylvania horse racing. We're going to do the highlights of the Preakness Stakes. Local racing was in full force here. Plus, we welcome our state legislators to see our industry close up. Lots of stories for you today, but the Preakness, very exciting and very memorable for you and many others.
It was. I wrote about it on letsgoracingparks.com this week, Dani. But look, the final Preakness at this version of Pimlico, it's the first track I ever went to. It's the first place I made my biggest score. I spent many days there and actually decided to watch the Preakness from about the 16th pole, about 100 yards from the wire, where I used to sit with my friends back in the day. And did I see something in those last 100 yards or what?
A memorable Preakness, and we have a new king that we'll talk about shortly, but let's get into it because it's the second jewel of the Triple Crown, a very famous race. It's $2 million for 3-year-olds going a mile and 16th, and our second place Kentucky Derby finisher, Journalism, was post-time favorite.
Yeah, and the money came pouring in right at the end. He was 6-5 forever, Dani, and he went to flat even money at $4 right on the last click.
Steve Asmussen, Hall of Fame trainer, send out Clever Again, second choice.
This was my exact, I was pretty sure I read the race exactly like I wanted to. I thought Clever Again would go to the front. I thought Journalism would close. Those two were true, but what happened, I could not have possibly anticipated.
Here it is, the Preakness.
And Clever Again in control of the pace in the Preakness. Leads Gosger. The opening quarter was soft, the half in 46 3/5 of a second, and so Clever Again, a length lead. Clever Again from Gosger in second. On the outside, River Thames moves to third. Goal Oriented is racing in fourth. American Promise is in fifth. Umberto Rispoli is getting after Journalism right now into the far turn run. Has 5.5 to make up. The leader's still Clever Again. And Sandman is trying to unwind, but third last at this point. And Pay Billy and trailing the field is Heart of Honor. They are midway on the turn. And Gosger runs alongside now to Clever Again to contest the lead. And Journalism is moving through on the inside. Slight steady, little bit of traffic, but Journalism is trying to box on through. Very tight still is Journalism. Gosger's come away with a lead. A lot of bumping going on as Clever Again steadied and shuffled back. Journalism shifted in. Here's Sandman on the outside trying to run on. Journalism has recovered. Journalism has recovered and is coming. Journalism! Journalism is sensational run.
Well, Journalism gets up for the win, but really hairy couple of moments there. Tell us what happened.
Well, I hated the ride. It was just dreadful. I don't know what Umberto Rispoli was thinking, Dani. He had a chance on the far turn to get out and come around. Instead, he decided he was hoping that the 8 Clever Again would continue. That's what he said, but Clever Again was obviously getting tired there. And he just ran into a spot where there's no room.
Yep.
It was almost a disaster. The horse is so good and so talented that he overcame his rider. The rider had nothing to do with the win other than he was happy to be on top of the horse when they crossed the wire. I caught him the last 8, a little over 12 seconds. I mean, Gosger had the race. The race was over. And he just came flying by me. It looked like a turf horse, Euro turf horse at the Breeders' Cup. It was some show by Journalism, Michael McCarthy and his team. But look, I don't know if they're going to keep this rider or not, but man, he almost blew the Preakness.
I agree wholeheartedly with you. I thought, why are you getting cover? You're riding him like a turf horse. You're on the best horse. Go out. There wasn't even that many horses in the race. And again, just great athleticism by Journalism. And he gets the win. He gets all the credit in this moment.
He does. Look, the rider tried to lose the Santander Derby. The horse wouldn't let it happen. He definitely tried to lose this race, and the horse was so good he overcame it. And you could see Rispoli after. Look, he's a 36-year-old. He's been in the U.S. for 5 years. He's ridden around the world. He's an Italian. This was a huge moment for him.
Yes.
But you know what it also was? He realized that he had completely screwed that up, and the horse overcame what he was doing. People are trying to blame Pratt for what happened. That was not Pratt's fault. Pratt was just doing what he was supposed to be doing. That was completely Rispoli's problem.
Agreed.
Michael McCarthy and I are friends, have been longtime friends. I didn't get a chance to talk to him about this because there were always people around, but man, he could not, and the ownership could not have been happy with what the rider was doing.
No,
out
and
there.
Pratt was ahead of journalism.
Correct.
So he was already in his spot.
Right.
Rispoli was trying to force that, and Clever again took the worst of it.
Steve Asmussen was very unhappy, understandably, with Clever again, because he did take the worst of it. He actually had to be eased because of what happened. Look, he wasn't going anywhere anyway. He'd already hit the wall. I got that wrong, but it was bad.
Well, what a Preakness it was, and here's more on it.
Umberto, all credit to him. He chose to save ground. That's what it takes to win these races like this. Obviously found himself in a little bit of a conundrum there for 6 or 8 jumps. Thankful that he and the horse came out of it unscathed. That's the most important thing. Win, lose, or draw. A wonderful effort by a wonderful group of people.
Going to the off turn, I would believe it, and Clever again would go at least at the A pole. At the quarter pole, he gets stopped, and obviously Gozer was the first one to have the jump on him. We didn't win that fast. The pace was just reasonable slow, and Flavian had some trouble to come out of there. You know, having American Promises outside of him, he couldn't get rid of him soon, and look, going to the elbow, a little gap was open it, and I say it's now or never. So it's a horse racing. We should. I think it's a nice battle for the sports. Everybody come out safe. I'm sorry about Jose, then he had to check, and I had to give a shout to Flavian, and he straight up his horse right away. So, but from that standpoint, from where I was, when I look it up, Louise opened up 4 lengths ahead of me, and the first time I used the crop on him, he switches lead, and boom.
Well, can't be more happy for journalism and Michael McCarthy and all the connections. Possible Belmont contenders.
Look, he took off for Saratoga on Monday with journalism. They didn't absolutely commit, but they said they'd really like to run if the horse is given on the right signs. Obviously, Derby winner Sovereignty is already there. He's been there since the Derby. We also have the 3rd place finisher from the Derby is going to be there. The winner of the Peter Pan. It looks like a short field. Rodriguez, I know they're trying to get him there. He's had a few issues, but if Rodriguez is in there, he's going to be lone speed.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, they put journalism in front where you can't get in trouble. That would be my advice.
Well, Belmont Day is coming up fast, and come join us here at Parx. We're going to have an earlier post, 12:05. It's going to be a fabulous day. Family fun, DJ Tonka, souvenirs, and Bark at the Park. That's the Basset Hound races.
We love Bark at the Parks.
It's a lot of fun. They're not fast, but they're awful cute. But we're going to go to our first break. We're going to have more on Pimlico. Plus, Pennsylvania Legislators paid us a visit. More on that coming up after this break on Let's Go Racing.
It all starts in the farm. You know, where we get our hay and our straw and our feed.
Set sail with Parx Casino in our Sail into Summer Sweepstakes. Sunday, May 25th, 12 to 8 p.m., we're giving you the chance to race toward big winnings. Earn entries May 10th through the 25th. 4 winners every hour will roll the dice and race their sailboats in the Regatta board game to win free slot play prizes up to $1,000. All winners from the day will battle for the grand prize of $15,000 cash. Will you be the one to sail away with $15,000? Visit Parx Casino and find out. Sail into Summer Sweepstakes, only at Parx Casino.
The question a lot of people are asking themselves these days is, do I buy new or do I buy pre-owned? Here's what I'll tell you. New car inventories are still low and new car prices are still high. However, with the certified pre-owned Nissan at Chapman Nissan, we have a huge selection and you can save thousands over new. Plus a 7-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty, roadside assistance, 1-year prepaid maintenance, and so much more. And not for nothing. Can you really tell the difference? I can't.
We're back on Let's Go Racing. Let's get to some local racing right here at Parx. We had racing on Preakness Saturday. We're going to look at the ninth race, 7 furlongs, optional claiming $100,000. That's important later. $55,000 purse. Favorite is Repo Rocks.
Could have had him for $100,000. This horse has won over $1 million. Do you want him? He is a 7-year-old. Let's see if anybody's interested.
Windsor Gold, second choice, Michael Moore.
9-5 for Michael Moore. Another stable having another terrific season.
Here it is, Saturday's 9th.
They're all chasing Mo Visitor, who has the lead. The opening quarter, 22-4. There's a half mile left to go. Mo Visitor, one more scoop, bump and run. Repo Rocks, he's back into 4th. That's Far Mo Power to the outside. Windsor Gold, he is 6th and last. They continue on, still chasing Mo Visitor. On the outside, bump and run. Inside, one more scoop. Repo Rocks, he's making his move now. He's beginning to gain. That's Far Mo Power. Windsor Gold, he is 6th and last. They go around the far turn, 45-2. Quarter mile left to go, and Mo Visitor, he has has the lead, continuing to gain one more scoop. Bump and Run being asked for a little bit more. Repo Rocks, anyone's race at this point. Mo Visitor trying to hold them off. Coming up the rail, Far Mo Power. He's getting in gear late. On the outside, Repo Rocks. Far Mo Power running a huge one to the inside. Repo Rocks continues to come back. 16th left. Far Mo Power. Repo Rocks down to the line. Far Mo Power still has it.
What a race. Far Mo Power back in the winner's circle. Eliseo Ruiz up this time. Dexter opted to stay on Windsor Gold. He just had that late kick.
Yeah, Far Mo Power is such a cool horse for Lou Linder and Joe Sutton. I mean, just this $500,000 now in earnings he went over. And we had a rarity in this race. One more scoop was claimed for $100,000 by Michael Moore. I texted Michael, I said, "Did you ever claim a horse for 100?" He says, "We did claim one for 75." And I was trying to remember, Danny, you ever remember a horse around here getting claimed for 100? There's not that many $100,000 claiming races anyway, but how about that?
Pretty big price tag there, and he's done so well with Windsor Gold. It's the same breeders, similar bloodlines, and I think they're getting ready for a PA bred stakes race.
Well,
I think that was the idea. Okay. So maybe we'll see one more scoop, and I know he was a barn favorite, but he'll do well over with Mike Moore. All right, let's get to Monday's 9th race, optional claiming $50,000. $42,000 purse. It was 6.5 furlongs is the distance for Pennsylvania breds. Kohler's John Service post-time favorite.
Yeah, 3-5, great record. Had won 4 in a row, Danny, before losing the last race by a neck.
Young Squire trying to get the job done with second choice money.
Yeah, Young Squire's another cool horse, top notch, and Esteban Padilla. Do they win many races around here?
They do. We'll talk about that later. Monday's 9th, here it is.
Cooking on the front end. Gun Collector has that lead. Dr. Steve continues to chase. Kohlers needs to do a little bit more if he's going to reel in Gun Collector, who's game on the lead. He pins his ears and fights on. Kohlers down the center of the track trying to make a dent, but Gun Collector is opening up now. Gun Collector, a comfortable margin. There's a 16th left. Kohlers closing late, but it is Gun Collector.
Gun Collector gets it done, and I was pretty cool. I was right by the trainer, Esteban Padilla, when he legged up Michael Sanchez, and Michael said, "I got this. I broke this horse's maiden. I know him," and he looked great. I really like how this horse came into his 5-year-old year.
Yeah, 6-1. Marty Shaw, top notch, another winner, loose of the lead and gone.
They had a great week. Well, let's get to some national races. We go back to Pimlico. This is for the 3-year-old fillies. The Black-Eyed Susan, it's a grade 2, a mile and an eighth, and boy, they had some weather to contend
It was
with.
an hour delay, Danny. It was miserable, lightning, rain. I wasn't there. I was there Thursday. I went back Saturday, but it looked brutal. I was a little worried. They ended up canceling the race after this, but they did get the Black-Eyed Susan off somehow.
You know, that has to throw the horses off the schedule a little bit, but Margie's Intention, favorite for Brad Cox. What would you think of her?
It's solid. Yeah, I thought it was very evenly matched field. I couldn't come up with any pick here. I made a pick. I ended up picking Kinsey Queen, but I didn't have a great feel for this race at all.
The Black-Eyed Susan.
It is Parx Lily leader, widening a 3-length margin from Margie's Intention in second, who's all out. Martha's in third. Inside is Liam in the Dust, followed by Princess Aaliyah. Out in the center of the track, Kinsey Queen is trying to come for a share too. Kinsey Queen is closed into third and closing steadily now, but time is running out. A furlong left to run. Parx Lily and Margie's Intention is digging on the outside to try to get by her. Parx Lily, Margie's Intention up to grab the lead in the late stages. Parx Lily's fighting on. Margie's Intention.
Margie's Intention gets the win after all that weather delay. Flavian Prop, Brad Cox, look, saved ground, and the pace setter just made the move when it was time.
Kind of like those Louisiana breds coming up to win the open stake, but yeah, just got into the Cox barn, new purchase, puts Pratt on, wins the Black-Eyed Susan.
Yeah, I thought it was the right winner, but boy, those fillies had to deal with some bad weather.
Yes, they did.
Well, let's go to, it was Preakness Day. This is the Jim McKay Turf Sprint, 5 furlongs. It's a quick one, $125,000 in Coppola favorite.
Coppola's favorite, a lot of speed in here, including 4 Harp, who won the King Leatherberry, the dead only closer in this race, and I mean the only one is our old friend Whitty. Check out the gray. This is a wild last furlong.
Honeyquest in front, Coppola on the outside, keeping the heat on into the far turn run. No, Nate Hudson is next on the inside as they round the turn. 4 Harp is trying to get going, about 3 wide on the course. Mattingly's under some pressure in between horses. On the inside is Determined Kingdom. They swing for home in the Jim McKay Turf Sprint, and it is Coppola a narrow lead. Coppola, that leader, trying to hold No Nate Hudson center of the course and charging one off the inside. Determined Kingdom Here comes Determined Kingdom. Whitty going late in the game. Whitty's on a roll on the far outside. Whitty down the center of the course.
Whitty, he was not denied. He was like, nobody's closing today. Hold my beer. Here I go.
Yeah, set up nicely, Danny. All that speed. I mean, they went 21 and 91 to the quarter on that track. That was like going 20.5. It was so soft. And here comes Whitty, and Pratt just waited for the crease to come, and here he comes. And he won easy, won by 3 in the end, over 800,000. Congratulations to Marylander, now PA person, Liz Merriman, who breeds her horses up here. But yeah, great job with Whitty, the great Caravel.
Fabulous horsewoman, Lizzie Merriman.
Indeed.
Well, let's go to the best race of the week. It was at Belmont at the Big A. It's a New York bred allowance race, $81,000 purse, 7 furlongs. I-Ride's on the favorite, coming in from California, Ball Don't Lie.
Yeah, 2-5 on Ball Don't Lie. They obviously did not know who they were up against in this race, Dan.
That's Run and Score, coming from Post 8 with Dexter Haddock. Miguel Rodriguez, the trainer. We'll see what happens up at the Big A.
The leader is still Uncle George towards the inside. Run and Score is the one making up ground towards the outside. Run and Score is trying to push on by. Run and Score is now put a neck in front. Uncle George battles on towards the inside. Run and Score will get the victory.
Run and Score he did, a.k.a. Happy, what we call him. He's by Run Happy, and he's just a happy horse. Look, Dexter dropped the whip right at the end, but he didn't even need it. And I have to say, shout out to Andy Serling. He picked him. Maggie picked him second. And we knew this horse was coming into the race good. 7 furlongs, a great distance. He's been a lot of fun after we gave him the time off. And
8-1 in your first win in New York.
First win.
Congratulations.
We're very happy.
You guys are on a roll.
Well, when you have horses like that, it makes it easy. We're going to go to another break, but when we come back, the PA legislators come to Parx for an important tour. All coming up.
Set sail with Parx Casino in our Sail into Summer Sweepstakes. Sunday, May 25th, 12 to 8 p.m., we're giving you the chance to race toward big winnings. Earn entries May 10th through the 25th. 4 winners every hour will roll the dice and race their sailboats in the regatta board game to win free slot play prizes up to $1,000. All winners from the day will battle for the grand prize of $15,000 cash. Will you be the one to sail away with $15,000? Visit Parx Casino and find out. Sail into Summer Sweepstakes, only at Parx Casino.
This is how you
Welcome back to Let's Go Racing. Well, our Pennsylvania legislators came for a tour right here at Parx Racing to the track and the backside. And tell us why that's so important in connecting for advocacy and policy influence here in the state of Pennsylvania.
So they were here on Wednesday, Danny, and like a lot of these legislators weren't around when the slots bill was passed in 2004. Obviously, Tommy Tomlinson was, but he's now retired. So it's very important to educate them about what horse racing means to the state and how important it is to keep that going.
So many jobs are involved too, and I think they were really impressed to see that from the ground up, just the full operation back here. And we caught up with some of our legislators.
This is, the bread and butter of our business. It's every single day. It's not just race days, and this is where all the hard work gets done. So, thank you for a few minutes of your time.
Thank you all for coming. This is great. This is a great crowd, and so we start. I say we, not me. My employees start around 4 a.m. This filly, when we first bought her, she was pretty nervous in the stall. Great on the racetrack, but pretty nervous in the stall. And we tried a couple different things to try to get her out of that, and we really couldn't. And I completely took a shot and bought her a stuffed animal. And it changed her like that.
There was a time in Pennsylvania when we did not have gaming. And I was Ed Rendell's Secretary for Legislative Affairs, responsible for pushing the legislative agenda. But the best lobbyist that we had to get gaming in Pennsylvania wasn't John. John was second. It was John's horse, Smarty Jones. And if you were around southeastern Pennsylvania or even America at that time, that horse was beloved, and is beloved to this day. And that's how we were able to get gaming in Pennsylvania.
It's very important that they understand that breeding and racing is paramount to the success of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, as we're an agricultural state. Our state flag has 2 horses on it, the only state of the 50 in our union that shows horses. And without breeding and horse racing, the state is in danger of going bankrupt.
You're standing in a state-of-the-art barn. We built 33 new barns, thanks to to slots. Let's face it. They came along. We spent probably $40 million back here. 33 new barns, lots of enhancements, paving, safety rails.
There's a lot of people here, Mom. There's a lot of people here. Get used to it if you're in the winter circle a lot. In our industry, you're always bouncing from track to track to track, but not here at Parx. We're year-round. She actually bought a house.
Congratulations.
So, yes.
I'm planted.
She's planted. So I just think that says something about the Parx community and the fact that we have year-round racing in the state of Pennsylvania, where somebody that would have been mortified to actually make that leap can be here. You can raise a family or whatever. I mean, we've got a lot of people like that.
The PTHA is proud to run Turning for Home. Since 2008, Turning for Home has successfully safely retired over 4,500 horses. And that none of that could be done without the great work of Danielle Montgomery and her team. So I think out of all of this that you saw today, that you're going to continue to see today, it's the aftercare that is first and foremost. Because once these horses are done racing, that's just the start of their new life.
I'm really proud to know Kate DeMasi, and I've known her for years. And one thing she does about breeding her horses is she has that sport horse second career in mind as she's planning her breedings. And these horses go on to be barrow horses. A couple of the girls have been talking. We love our barrow horses. We have one of the top, barrow horses in the country that is a Turning for Home horse. We all know them in the hunter jumper world. Absolutely the best horse, in my opinion, is the thoroughbred. They have the heart, they have the stamina. So if they can run and they can be a racehorse, then any other career is easy for them.
Oh my gosh, I learned so much. It was amazing to be here. I think one of the most important things we learned is just how this is an extension of the agriculture industry that is so important here to Pennsylvania. We learned about all of the job creation that occurs here, about the revenue that's generated, and really about the history of horse racing here in Pennsylvania, just how critical and important it is that we continue to invest in this industry.
It's like a little city back there, all the workers working the horses, seeing what they do, just to get them to the point that they can race. So I think any time that we're, as legislators, able to get backside is something really, really tremendous.
I was glad to see so many legislators here today so that they could get a grasp on what's really going on and why we do what we do in Harrisburg. I mean, what started with Smarty Jones and the idea of a couple slot machines 21 years ago is now very different. And that's why I'm going to be working in Harrisburg to make sure that as we move to the future, we secure the future of horse racing, because as I remind all my fellow legislators all the time, it's not a gaming act, it was the Racehorse Development and Gaming Act. So that's the focus of it. That's what we need to focus on for the future. So, I'm glad to bring so many legislators here to see the backside of the track, to see what really goes on and how much that really impacts not just the horse racing industry, but agriculture, which is the #1 economic driver in Pennsylvania.
So important, and it was great to show them around and show them just how much that we love what we do and how important it is to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And shout out to Kate DeMasi and John Service. They welcomed the legislators in their barn, and they loved getting up close with the horses.
For sure, 2 Hall of Famers showing everybody around.
Well, now it's time for this week's Jockey of the Week, brought to you by NovaCare. Congratulations to George Vargas Jr. He had some heart-pounding victories, including a big win at Monmouth in the John J. Riley Handicap, making him our Jockey of the Week, sponsored by NovaCare, the power of physical therapy. Now it's time for this week's Trainer of the Week, brought to you by the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. Congratulations, Esteban Padilla, on a great week with multiple wins and lots of in-the-money finishes. The PTHA proudly partners with the Tunnel to Towers Foundation to bring you this week's Trainer of the Week. Now it's time for another Turning for Home family photo. This is Aztec Bay, transitioning from the fast-paced world of racing to the well-deserved slower-paced retirement. Look, retired racehorses like Aztec aren't just turned out in the pasture. They're given special care, attention to help them adjust. These horses are used to round-the-clock care here at the track, and Aztec's up in New Hampshire. at our partner farm, Maple Grace Stables, with Kristen Nesbitt, and she's going to be available for adoption.
Love New Hampshire, New England. What a wonderful place.
Yeah, she's learning how to not be a racehorse and have a slower pace of life. Well, let's go to this week's PTHA Trophy race. It was Tuesday's 5th race. Some cool claiming horses in here going 1 mile and 70 yards, but keep your eye on the 6.
Yeah, King Startness was your favorite, Danny. Odds on that was loose in the lead, the 2, but the 6, Jack O'Hare, is going to come run him down at the end to get up right at the wire.
This is the 9th win for the son of midshipman. Jack O'Hare gives Jose Santiello his first win of this year. Look, this is a hardworking small trainer, and he was very emotional, rightfully so, after the race. Congratulations to him and his team. And we're going to go to our final break, but we have some more coming up, and Parx Picks, the best part.
Set sail with Parx Casino in our Sail into Summer Sweepstakes. Sunday, May 25th, 12 to 8 p.m., we're giving you the chance to race toward big winnings. Earn entries May 10th through the 25th. 4 winners every hour will roll the dice and race their sailboats in the Regatta board game to win free slot play prizes up to $1,000. All winners from the day will battle for the grand prize of $15,000 cash. Will you be the one to sail away with $15,000? Visit Parx Casino and find out. Sail into Summer Sweepstakes, only at Parx Casino.
All right, here we go. We're back at Let's Go Racing, and it's time for Parx Picks. And we're going to do a little something different. This is Monday's first race, and kind of cool field here.
It is. It's for horses that haven't won a race in 3 months, Danny. But look at this field. 378 combined starts, 76 wins, some old warriors, some tough guys in here. Who do you like?
I'm going to go with Tap-In Formation. He got claimed, but look, this horse is in good form. Hopefully he can get that lead, keep it going. 6.5's a little longer than I would like for him, but if he gets in a nice rhythm, Andrew Wolfson is going to get the win at good odds.
For me, it's the 6, Kate's Golden Dude, off a little bit of a layoff for Michael Moore. But speaking of wins, how about 73 starts, 41 in the month?
He's a cool horse. Now, look, we know it was the last Preakness. What is going to happen to Pimlico now?
So, right, it's the last Preakness at this version of Pimlico. It'll be at Laurel next year if everything goes well. It'll be back at Pimlico in 2027, and I can't wait to see the new Pimlico. And I've talked to some people who are doing it. The track, the turf course will be exactly the same. Everything else is coming down next month. The buildings, the stables, the stakes barn where the Preakness horses are will be exactly where it was before. And it'll kind of look like the old Pimlico clubhouse. It'll be going back to the future. Can't wait to see it.
You got to check out our podcast, Gate to Wire. Bruce and I had Frankie Pennington, and we talked about all kinds of fun stuff. What's it like as a jockey and some of his favorite horses. Well, there's racing here Memorial Day right here at Parx. You don't want to miss it. Gates open at 10, 12:40 post time. Come out and enjoy your Memorial Day with us.
Absolutely.
And of course, we look ahead to the Belmont Stakes.
Yes.
Bark at the Park. That's the Basset Hound races. Post time 12:05, a little earlier, but lots of fun stuff to look forward to right here at Parx.
Yeah, not only live racing here, but it'll be an awesome card that day at Saratoga. Probably the best of the year other than Breeders' Cup Saturday.
Really looking forward to getting our handicapping done
Yes,
for
we
that.
are.
Well, that wraps it up for today. What a great show it was. Thanks for watching us. Dick and I will see you next time on Let's Go Racing.
Off and racing in the Bet Parx Pennsylvania Derby in a flawless beginning, and seize the ray. He's going to seize the day in the Pennsylvania Derby. Here comes Torpedo Anna, a 16th left to go. Torpedo Anna, the Grizzly has the heart of a lion. Torpedo Anna gets the win, a narrow victory in the cotillion.